right, welcome to the Buchanan Area Senior Center. I'm Adam Burke, and I'm gonna show you how to make water kefir, which is a probiotic beverage, not dairy, which is one of the advantages if you're sensitive to dairy products. And it's easy to make at home and delicious. You can try making different flavors than what I suggest. I typically make it in 2 fermentations. The first fermentation is an open fermentation, and it takes about 2 days, and the second fermentation is closed, so it builds up carbonation, and that's another couple days. So why do probiotics? What's the point of having a probiotic beverage? And it's very good for aiding your digestion, as well. All of the little probiotics, the little critters that populate your digestive tract, are important to your immune function. So it's kind of like the front line of your immune system, and it helps your body defend itself from anything that goes through the immune system. It kind of is like your barometer or something like that for the immunity. So probiotics are important in making sure your gut biome is healthy. You can do by either yogurt, water kefir, different things. The advantage to this is that it's not dairy, as I mentioned, and it's a very robust source of probiotics. So I make a lemon ginger water kefir, and that's what we're going to make today. Some of the things you'll need in order to do this are an empty quart jar, ginger, lemon, and plastic and glass is what you should use, no metal. The probiotic microorganisms are sensitive to metal, so you don't want to use any metal when you're working with the water kefir. So I use a plastic mesh strainer and then plastic measuring utensils in case you need to spatula. What I do to start is I use also raw sugar. It has more minerals in it. Water kefir kind of likes minerals. That's part of what it thrives on. So by having well water, which a lot of us have around here, is great for water kefir, as well. Using some raw sugar has a lot of minerals in it, so it's good for the water kefir. So to start with, I'll measure a 1/4 cup. So the recipe for a quart of the lemon ginger water kefir is, well, for the first fermentation, what you end up doing is just for a quart, you take a 1/4 cup of sugar and dissolve it in here first before you add the kefir grains, which is what cultures the water kefir for you. So a 1/4 cup of sugar, and I use, like I said, raw sugar, and then I'll use a little bit of hot water to dissolve it. Just ran over to the stove and got some hot water. And then I'll just dissolve it with the hot water in there. It just helps it dissolve faster. And there it is, it's dissolved. And then I'll add some more water to cool it down. You don't want to use hot water with the water kefir grains because they'll die. They don't deal with the heat well. All right, so we've got that ready for the water kefir grains. And then when you store them in the fridge. And some of it, you just add a little sugar water in here for them to live on while they're kind of hibernating in the fridge. And you strain them out. So the water kefir grains, which is the mother, which cultures the water kefir, are floating down here in the bottom, as opposed to like kombucha where it floats on top. these are like little chunks that looks like little chunks of wax, but they sit on the bottom. So you just strain them out, and we need a 1/4 cup as well of water kefir grains. And here we have it, 1/4 cup. Whoops. Okay. Add these in. If you don't have raw sugar, but you're using well water, then the water kefir should be fine. Another option is to add some raisins if you like, to give it a little bit of minerals. And then you just lightly place a lid on top to keep any critters out, and you let it sit for 2 or 3 days at room temperature out in your countertop. If your home is cooler, it'll probably take 3 days. And then when it's done, you can go into the second fermentation, which is where I add the flavorings. So once you're done with it, say this has been 2 days, we're ready to move on to the next process. Then what you do is you strain it out. Those 2 days were fast. And then put them back in here so they can hang out until the next time you need them. Keep them in the fridge. That's how you store them, to keep them vital. And just loosely place a lid on top. All right, so we've got our quart of water kefir that's been prepared. And we want to make lemon ginger. And so I've prepared what we need. You need a quart jar again. And I have diced up about an inch and a half, an ounce of 1/2 to 1 ounce of ginger. And you just put that in here. And an easy way to peel ginger, just a little hack, is if you take the back of your knife and just scrape it along like this, the papery coating just comes right off. It's much easier than using a, what do you call that, a peeler. And then I've got my about 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, and a little bit, just another little bit of sugar, about a tablespoon again of sugar, and that just helps give it a little boost. The water kefir microorganisms in this second round. So we've taken out the and the water kefir is not in here, so it doesn't matter that I'm using metal to stir this. It's just to dissolve the sugar. But you just need to give it a little bit of extra sugar for this second fermentation. And the lemon juice as well has a little bit of sugar in there. And put the dissolved sugar in there. The lemon juice I already put in there. And now you just mix it with the ginger in here, in the quart jar. And there you have it. So now you just close it, seal it, and it'll build up pressure. When you see this start to bubble up, you want to release the pressure and do it over the sink because it'll be carbonated. You don't want it to overflow. So there you have it. This, if you don't use the raw sugar, which is like brown sugar kind of, it'll look more like this. This is another batch I made where I used just plain sugar. And then you can see the ginger in there. So either one of these, it'll look like one of these two, depends on how you make it. But that's it, it's very easy. And then you just store your water kefir grains. You can buy these online. At the end of this video, we'll kind of give you the recipe printed out, and then sources where you can find the water kefir grains online. And if you just Google probiotic benefits or water kefir, you'll see all kinds of stuff online. You can do research yourself on it. It's really a great beverage, and what's nice about it is it's milder flavored than kombucha, which has a real tang, kind of a vinegary tang to it because it's based on that's just part of what the microbe adds to it, but also it's based on tea. So it's using the tannic acid in it is what the kombucha likes, and so it's a more tangy. And depending on how you flavor this will be maybe tangy too, but it's much milder. So the flavorings you give to it is what you taste, not so much like with kombucha, it's that strong tang, and then the tea adds some flavor to it too. So that's basically it. You can experiment with other flavors too. There's all kinds of recipes online for water kefir. So happy fermenting.